show today, and thank you, of course, for sticking around. We've got a bunch of fun stuff to share with you guys. My name is Jacqueline. I played Helen for you here today, and this is my friend. Oh, thank you. It's my friend Stan. He played one of our smokers.
Number 8.
All right. So before we get going, I just want to see show of hands from all of you guys. Who's actually seen the movie WaterWorld? All right, pretty good, pretty good. For those who haven't seen it, just a little bit of background. Our show here is based off a 1995 film. It starred Kevin Costner. If you've seen the movie, you might actually recognize some of the sets and prop pieces. We did take them from the actual Hollywood set and incorporate them into our show here. Now, along with those sets and props, we incorporate a bunch of other things. Character names, some plot elements, and then, of course, tons of cool special effects and sound effects.
Now, some of you guys may have noticed we only have 3 people in our show that are live mic'd. That's the Sage, the Deacon, and Helen.
That's me.
All other sound effects, voiceovers, pyrotechnics, anything else like that comes from our sound booth right behind you guys. Say hi to Stefan.
Hey, Stefan.
Can you give us some of those examples?
Smokers in the distance! Ah! Helen!
Yes?
Now, some of the firearms that we use in the show. First is the Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun, just modified to fire blank ammunition only for our protection and for your protection as well. Second types of guns we use are handy-dandy, high-tech, really expensive rubber guns. 2 reasons why we use rubber guns. First is in hand-to-hand combat. It's going to hurt a lot less with a rubber gun than a real one. Second reason is because they float. In the wintertime, the water gets down to about 45 degrees Fahrenheit. My job to go get them. I like the ones that float.
So Stan did mention the main reason that we use these guns is for safety purposes. We have a lot of close quarters hand-to-hand fighting in this show. So on that note, who here wants to see me beat up smoker number 8? I like this groove. So in the show, it is of course our job to make these fights look very dangerous, but in reality, we spend a lot of time with our fight partners working on rehearsals very slowly, making sure that we're actually keeping each other very safe. So rehearsal mode may look a little something like this. Oh no! Right in the stomach! I'm just kidding. Not super impressive at that speed, but when it's time for the show, we're going to flip the blocking, speed it up, add some real sound effects from up in the booth, and Stan here will add his Oscar-worthy acting. Are we ready for the real thing now? Yeah. All right, here we go. Walk it off, buddy. You'll be fine. Thank you. We only get Stan a minute to recover. We're going to talk about one of my favorite parts of the show. Who here like the seaplane? Yeah, pretty cool. Now that is, of course, not a real plane, but it's still very, very heavy. That is 2,300 pounds that we launch over the back wall. So we're using a catapult system, similar to what they have on aircraft carriers. Once it lands, picking up another 300 pounds of water. So we often get asked, how do you put it back? You guys are lucky. We're going to see that start to take place here in just a moment. We've hooked a tow rope up to the back of the plane, and we're going to pull it right to where you can see that crane hanging down towards the back of the pool. Not just the pretty part of the set, that is a fully functional crane. So we're going to lift the entire thing up. We have to wait first for all 300 pounds of water to drain out, and then we can pull it back through the hole in the wall, set it back on the catapult, and ready to do the whole thing again for the next show. So the whole process takes anywhere 25 to 45 minutes, but well worth the wait, I would say, yeah? Thanks, Ed.
How'd you guys like the fire dive at the end of the show? Pretty cool, huh? You guys notice the Deacon looked a little different?
Yeah.
Fooled you all. He's actually the only one in the show with a live working stunt double. He's the guy that you see up here do the rappel. He'll get shot off the gates over there. He'll swim under backstage, put 3 layers of protection on. First is Nomex, similar to what firefighters or NASCAR drivers will wear. Second layer is a 10-pound silicone head. This is going to protect his head and neck area from the flames, make him look a little bit more like the Deacon. Third layer is an aloe-based fire gel. We'll put it all over his face, up his nose, any other exposed skin to protect him from the flames. Ooey gooey, nasty stuff. Fire diver Chad Mason. Woo!
There he is. End of the hour.
So when the plane comes over, they'll make the switch. He comes out, he'll act out the Deacon's dialogue for him. He'll ignite himself by backing himself into a flare, run around for about 10 to 15 seconds holding his breath the entire time. Fastest way to put himself out, 45 feet to the water. Who wants to try?
Volunteers?
Yeah, right over here. Come on, we're going to light you on fire.
Well,
Come on.
Sam, we're not going to light you guess on fire today.
Sorry.
But we appreciate your enthusiasm.
I wanted to light him on fire.
Come audition in like 10 years. We'll be ready for you. Now, we are going to get going in a few minutes, but we do have some time before we go for some questions from all of you guys. Anything we didn't cover, you guys are just dying to know. Yeah, right up here. How deep is the pool? Depends where you are. So around the perimeter, it's about 3 to 5 feet. Most of our pool is 10 to 12 feet, so we've got plenty of room for the boats and jet skis. But some places, anywhere we're doing any of those really big falls, it's 25 to 30 feet. So they have plenty of room to fall safely. Yeah, right here.
Like for the fuel thing, it was shot holes in it, with water draining out. Like, how does that happen?
Which part?
How does it happen? See the fuel tank? The fuel tank's
That's like
already...
a multi-part question there.
The fuel tank already has the holes in them. You see that? They're still there.
Holes
So
in
at the right time, there's actually it's not full of water. It's just tubes hooked into the hoses to where at the right time the deacon shoots the fuel tank. Stefan will press a button up there and shoot water out of the holes. Hollywood. Woo!
Imagine, right here.
Has anything ever gone really wrong?
Has anything ever gone really wrong? What do you take us for? We are perfect. Absolutely not. No, this is a live stunt show. We are really doing these things in front of you. This is real metal, so kind of the nature of the business. Bumps and bruises happen, but we've never had any major injuries where anybody wasn't able to come back to work. You know, eventually.
Eventually.
That's definitely my job, man.
Totally. If something goes wrong, what do? We have alternate sequences for any possible sequence that could go wrong. See, yesterday, every year we have a rehab. We didn't get a shutdown, so yesterday that basket was out of the show.
That's a really
It
fun one.
replaced all of the cables and the basket. So without that basket, she had to get hit in the face, run down, all the way around to her boat, and get up there to press a button so the plane can
Ran
fly.
about an extra 2 miles yesterday. It was good for me.
So yeah, things do go wrong, but we do have those alternate sequences put in
Yeah.
place to
Ideally, you
cover.
guys will never even know anything happened.
Yep.
Do we have a code word in case something goes wrong? No,
No,
in most of those cases, we've trained in, so we know the original blocking. And then if there's something like the basket, we knew that before the show. So we're ready and we're prepared. We always have a sequence where if we know that an effect is going to be out prior to, we can all plan before the show. If it's something that happens kind of spur of the moment, something doesn't go off, we also have another alternate that we're all prepared for if it happens in the middle of the show. So
Such as
everybody's
this.
always able to kind of jump in at the last moment. How long have we been performing here? I've been performing here for 2 years.
4 years.
4 years, but the record is our full-time
23
deacon.
years.
23 years, as long as the show's been open.
1995. Greg Dolph, our deacon.
That's right. Yeah, right over here. When we're fighting, do we ever accidentally hit anyone in the face? All these questions about us doing things wrong. I would say the majority of the time, no, but every now and again we might get a little bop on the nose or something, but nothing too bad. Anything else? Right over here in the side classes.
How did you get involved?
How did I get involved in this? Well, I grew up doing gymnastics, dance, martial arts, and I'm an actor as well. So I actually had a friend who was doing the show. I came to see it, and I said, I can do that. But Stan's been jet skiing, I don't know, since you were born.
Yeah, I just fell into it.
But
Yeah, I grew up water skiing and jet skiing, so that's how I gained the skills to do
yeah,
the show.
so you know, when you grow up and you have these skills, we kind of get to play all day for work. Right up here. How do we create the bullet effects of the machine gun? If you look in the water, it's a little bit tricky to see, but we have what they almost look like Q-tips, like black Q-tips in the water. Those are our bullet hits. So they're filled with compressed air. So when any of our castmates have a gun and they shoot at the water, we're actually just signaling those bullet hits to explode, and it shoots air up through the surface of the water. What was that?
What about on the rail thing on the top? The guy was shooting on the top.
Like the pyro effects? Yeah. Oh, so those are all those pyro effects are preloaded, and again, that's another thing where at the push of a button from the booth, when they aim, it all is controlled from Stefan. All right, we got time for one more before we go. Right here. Say that one more time. What is
Plane is made out of aluminum.
2,300 pounds of aluminum.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for sticking around. Have an awesome day.